What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be hitting you with a quick little recap of Week 6, upvotes, downvotes, and our top 10 rankings. So starting off on upvotes, the New England Patriots. This is a team that it's tough. It's coached by Bill Belichick. Bailey Zappi looks good. I do think there could be a controversy brewing. I don't think Bill will hesitate to bench Mac Jones. He'll do whatever it takes to win. This is a tough physical team, and with the weather changing, starting to get colder, expect them to improve as well.
You don't want to go to Foxborough.
No.
So, yeah.
Pittsburgh. So, Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, he just gets his guys to play for him, man. Games that he has no business winning. After getting embarrassed last week, he came out and embarrassed the GOAT. That was a phenomenal game by Pittsburgh. I was super impressed. And with Trubisky for a large amount of the game. So that was nice to see. The Giants mount a 14-point fourth quarter comeback. And it was really impressive to see that against the Baltimore Ravens. And I think there's a little change happening with Daniel Jones. I don't know if you remember, like 2 years ago, I was high on him. They said he put on like 10 pounds, blah, 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 but then I jumped ship. But He looks calm in there. He looks to be doing things correctly. I don't think he's the guy for them. I do think they still are going to have to address that position in the offseason. Atlanta Falcons. So one key point I put here, the Falcons and the Giants, man, these are two rosters that are not very good, but I think with phenomenal coaching staffs. So it is really cool to see where they're at, but they're not even good yet. You know what I mean? Lastly, I got Seattle. And so I'm just curious. So Geno Smith, he's been in the league for, I think, 9 years now. Former second-round pick. Pretty big prospect coming out. Has he just finally put it all together? Like, is he good now? Or is this just a phase?
Nah. I think, looking at the eye test, man, he looks good to me. If I couldn't, it might be a little Freaky Friday, man. I thought Geno was in Denver and Russell Wilson was still in Seattle or something. I don't know what's going on. But nah, he looks good, man, for sure.
Yeah, that'll round up my my upvotes.
Yeah, just to stay right there, man. You know what I mean? Seattle, man. Like you said, Geno looks good. Hey, the 12th man is in full effect. A lot of energy in Seattle. And look, I just think, man, they seem to be enjoying this underdog role, man. You know what I mean? Everybody was counting them out. It's a scrappy team. They play hard for Pete Carroll, man. So you can't say enough about that. I think every game they come out, they compete, man. So definitely another solid win for them. Another team, you said, Atlanta Falcons, right? I want to say, just looking at them, you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things, man, much improved on the defense end this year, man. A much more balanced attack on the offensive side. They're not just stepping out, throwing it 50 times a game. They make an effort to get it going in the run game. And look, you got a statement win against the 49ers. Everybody was getting high on the 49ers. Hey, it's a top team, even me. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? To their credit, man, they came out, got a good win. And it's a lot to like what they've been able to do this year, man. A lot to like about that. You know what I mean? And let's talk about some of these New York teams. So the first one, you know what I mean? The New York Giants, like you said, man, listen, they 5-1. They continue to win. Solid win to the resume. Wink Martindale, he got a defense flying around and making plays. It's no fluke. Hey, another New York team, the Buffalo Bills. You talk about a statement one. We talk about resumes. Not nothing to be said about them, man. Look, they showed they're the best team in the league, and they beat one of the better teams in the league. What else to be said about that? And to end that, another New York team, right? The New York Jets, man. Listen, I just want to say, man, shout out to them. They got a young core. They're changing the culture over there. You got Breece Hall. He's number one, averaging 6.5 per touch in the league right now. You got Wilson, you know what I mean, one of the better young receivers. And then you got Sauce Gardner who's playing like an all-pro at the cornerback position, man. So all these guys, they're amongst the top rookies at their positions. Hungry football team, man, with an edge, man. I like it, man. And look, New York football, man, stepping up, man. So shout out to them. And I'm gonna roll straight into the downvotes, bro. The first team, right? Green Bay Packers, man. It just seemed like whether it's this game, the last game, whatever, even when they was winning, it wasn't looking pretty. I think this game, you see a lot of those things come to head. They just got outplayed in every facet, right? You see the block punt, on special teams. The New York Jets offensively, they was able to run a ball against some. Breece Hall was able to do what he wanted to do. And then defensively, they was able to rattle him a little bit, man. So I just don't know what's going on. They didn't show up. Hey, whatever happened to Lambeau being an advantage, bro? It just not clicking with Rodgers right away. But I think the main thing for me is I thought going into this year, this would be a top 2, top 3, top 5 defense for sure. But to see them take that step back, I just think that is something that's concerning. and something to look at for the rest of the year for sure. Secondly, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So speaking about defense and Packers, whatever happened to that high flying offense in Tampa Bay, at the end of the day, it just doesn't. The good is not clicking. I still got confidence in Brady that he could turn around. But it's now been 2 weeks in a row, even 3, where it just feel like they came out flat. They been able to sneak in a win here too. But I want to know, personally, like, are they missing Bruce Arians? Like, is that something that we're just not talking about enough? You know what I mean? Because right now, and it seemed like every week Tom Brady on the sideline snapping, he breaking tablets one week. He's cussing out the offensive line last week. Man, I don't know. It seemed like he thinking maybe I should have just stayed retired, because if I was to ask you an honest question, is this still a team that we feel like is a Super Bowl contender right now? And I would have to say no, myself personally. Next, Arizona Cardinals. I won't spend a lot of time on them. I will say they get D-Hop back, but to lose Hollywood is tough. Kingsbury, will he be on the hot seat if they miss the playoffs? And then Kyler Murray, he's just not reading the field this year, man. I think going into a third year, which I feel is crucial, just to get that money, he hasn't developed at all, man. So definitely a downvote for me. And then to be quick on the last 2, Denver Broncos, I don't want to put it all on Russell Wilson. I know he's catching a lot of slack, but how do you only get 15 yards passing in the second half of that game? I just don't understand. And then another question is, how does Melvin Gordon take snaps from Javonte but can't play ahead of Latavius Murray? And you just kind of combine all these things together. There's just no direction in Denver. They just don't know what's going on. It's terrible. The offensive line is horrible. The play calling is bad. Good players over there, just not working. And lastly, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this is still a team that's competing. But I will say this, in general, this is a team that now has 3 losses in a row. A loss to the coach team, who is hurting. And to me, it's not that good, to be honest. But I just feel like as a young team, they just got to learn how to win some of these close games. And I just, Doug Peterson, he's going to have to turn around fast and hurry.
Switching over to my downvotes, I do think, by the way, Jacksonville is on a downward trajectory. They're 2-4. Just seems like they're better than that, like record-wise. Green Bay Packers. So our top 3 are going to be the same. Green Bay Packers. These guys have no execution. They look poorly coached, and it's too late now. But I think this team / Aaron Rodgers would have benefited so much more from a defensive-minded coach compared to an offensive-minded guy. I don't know who they could have got in there as an OC, but I just don't think LaFleur is working. I don't think his system is working. It's almost as if they're operating like they have the same team as they did last year, and they do not. Switching over to Tampa Bay, this team is 22nd on third down, and something just seems off. I don't know if Brady misses Gronk, Edelman, James White, like Belichick, what's going on? But he's not comfortable with something, and I don't, like, offensively, I don't know. Yeah. If he needs a weapon in the slot, somebody coming out of the backfield, something doesn't add up. And I'm thinking that maybe Rachaad White might start seeing an increased role in the receiving game. Arizona Cardinals, I think, what's his name? Bidwell, the owner for the Cardinals, made a huge mistake extending Keim, Kingsbury, and Kyler Murray. He paid all 3 of
Kingsbury did get a extension, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be a mistake. Yeah.
So he's got all these guys roped in, and he's going to have to pay a lot of money to make people go away. But, I mean, it makes sense. No, I think it was premature to extend anybody. You got a GM who doesn't know how to bring on depth. You have a coach whose offensive system doesn't suit his quarterback, and a quarterback who doesn't love football. So it's just a recipe for disaster. Very, very talented roster, but things just aren't going right. I got Miami as well on a downvote. They just are not establishing the run game, which is really odd considering Mike McDaniel is considered a run genius coming over. They're actually 38%, 62 run on the year, which I would assume would have been the other way around. I haven't seen much Miami games. But especially with third-string quarterback starting the game, and then you have, what's his name? Teddy B come in, concussed or whatever. And he just, I don't know, why not run the ball a little more? You pay Chase Edmonds all this money, and you're riding, obviously, the hot hand in Mostert, but something just doesn't work. And then for my last downvote, I put the Monday Night Football game. So
I like it.
Phenomenal talent on both sides. Horrible coaching. Yeah. I think Brandon Staley's on the hot seat. look at that roster for the Chargers and tell me how they shouldn't have more, shouldn't win more games. Like, I don't know that they can win 10 games this year. And then watching the Chargers, they look bored. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, nah. Keep flowing, bro, because this is a perfect segment to these power rankings, right? You know what I mean? I just want you to finish your thoughts on that, and then just once we roll into this power rankings, like now you got some great points there. Chargers, yeah, for sure. I don't get it.
So yeah, no, the Chargers, man, they bore me, man, and I don't understand. You've got these crazy guys on defense, but offensively they just look whack. Like,
yeah,
I just expect to see like all these highlights from Herbert and Mike Williams, and we don't get any of that, and I don't understand it. I do know they're hurt at left tackle. I do know that losing Rashawn Slater and Lindsley at center is killing them.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and you're not moving. I don't know. It looks dull. All right, switching over to my top 10. I got Buffalo moving back up one spot to the one spot. Von Miller looks insane. Buffalo is 6th in sack rate on the year. Philadelphia +1. It come off a crazy game against Dallas where they had no sacks or tackles for loss. They played very disciplined football and won that game. Kansas City at 3. They stay there. Good team. They just are lacking that explosive ability that they had with Tyreek Hill, and I think it's very evident. They're still winning, but they just don't look like the same team.
Right.
Minnesota at 4, they move up a spot. They're 8th in sack rate and +4 on turnover differential on the year. 5-1 ball club, actually leading the NFC North. And this was the team I was going to take to win that division pre-year, but Rodgers changed my mind. Over at 5, I got the Giants. The Giants are +2 in turnover as well. Very, very run-balanced team right now. They're 55-45 run pass. But everything is dependent on Saquon. If Saquon goes down, this ship will sink. They don't have I think Breida's running back 2 over there. Dallas, I've dropped back 2 spots to 6. That was a game that we should have lost last week. Obviously, Cooper Rush, having a backup quarterback, finally caught up with us. We're still only giving up 16.3 points per game. Number 7, I got Tennessee. They're at home coming off a bye this week, and Vrabel's 4-0 coming off a bye in his coaching career, so I do like them a lot, with potential to move up my ranks this week. Baltimore at 8. I had to knock Baltimore down. You can't lose to the Giants after being up 14 in the fourth quarter. Right now, they're 47-53 run pass, and I think they should be closer to 55-45 like the Giants for success. What's his name? Dobbins. I don't think Dobbins is ready. He left the game early with knee tightness. And I don't know if he's going to...
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
Yeah, he left early, and then Kenyon Drake pretty much played the whole game.
I did see Drake balling out, though.
Okay. He didn't injure it, though. They just said it tightened up. So is that going to be a problem moving forward? I hope not. The Bengals at 9, they hop back in my list. 47% on third down conversions on the year. That's 3rd in the league. So they're extending drives. They seem to be putting things together a little better now. And then at number 10, the New York Jets, man. 4-2 ball club. I had no idea that this is where they would be at this point in time. I don't think anyone did. Robert Salah, I believe after week 2, said he was going to keep receipts of all the people who were talking shit. And he did that, bro.
I like it.
They look good. And Sauce Gardner is unbelievable, dude.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
All pro.
But let me bring that back to my downvote real quick. Patrick Surtain as well, bro. Put the clamps on Mike Williams. Those 2 DBs are crazy.
Some good young corners in this league, man. So, just to hop straight into this, I will say this. Our top, teams in this league, I think, for the most part, I looked at it and I said, who are the best teams and then who has the best records in? And when you think about it, I don't think at this point you can kind of argue the top teams to me, and I like your list a lot. So just to stick right there, I'll say, the number 1 team, Buffalo Bills to me, +1. And all I can say is Josh Allen. You got a guy like that. You got the Dez connection, top defense. man, you can't say enough about them, man. Solid win versus Kansas City. With the 2 spot, I have the Philadelphia Eagles moving up +1. Solid win against Dallas, man. They made it a hard game early for them. They played exactly how they wanted to play, man. I think it's a good team, good defense. The offense is flowing over there, man. Good team in Philly. I'll give them that. At the 3 spot, I have the Kansas City Chiefs moving down 2 spots. I just want to say they lost a tough game against a great team. But I will say this, man. This is a good team with room to improve on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, and I think for the league that can be scary, man. So they're here, and I think like I said, a lot of room to improve. At the 4th spot, Minnesota Vikings moving up here, man, +2. So this is a good team, right? But I'm not sure how great of a team they are. But I feel like it sounds repetitive, but they just find ways to win. It's weird. When they play some more competition, we'll see. Look, they winning, man. 5-1 ball club, and there's not many out there in this league right now, and they one of them. At the 5 spot, another 5-1 ball club. You had the New York Giants, right? Moving up 5 spots from the 10th spot for me. They're just becoming a tough out every week. You know what I mean? They just finding ways to win. They good. They got Saquon. He's kind of the driving force about the thing, but man, the defense is flying around. Solid team over there. Number 6, I have the Dallas Cowboys, who's going to drop 2 spots for me. Still a solid team. Tough loss, obviously, but one of the better teams in this league. And I think, when you look at the top teams in this league, man, far as the record, as far as the teams that's been looking the best, I think those are the top 6 for me. At the 7th spot, that's when it becomes to get a little bit weird for me, right? You have some of these teams where I just don't know how to feel about them. It's similar to the Minnesota Vikings. So at the 7th spot, I have the Cincinnati Bengals, right? And they're another team that's just finding a way to win without being completely explosive. When we think about how they look last year versus this year, where they're just taking the tops off defenses, it's not the same, but they're winning. The defense looks better. They find ways to win. Hey, Chase and Burrow connection, man. I have them here, man, at the 7th spot, at the 8th spot, right? Now, you probably wonder, like, who could be there? The Los Angeles Chargers, right? They don't look particularly the best, right? But, they winning. Another team that's winning as well. And I just think reinforcements are on the way, man. And we could touch a little bit more on them. At the 9th spot, I got the Baltimore Ravens, you know what I mean? Now, this is a team that's, obviously I feel is a better team, but they got a continuous theme of just beating themselves over and over and over again. This is a solid team. In these past games, even the losses, they've always been up. They just got to figure out a way to win some of these close ball games. And at the 10th spot, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who would drop 2 spots for me. Another tough loss. Brady frustrated. They've lost the close games. But I give them the benefit of the doubt for now. I think they'll bounce back. And just to round out my top 10. But I will say this, right? Just looking at the league in general and, the top teams, I look at Minnesota and I say, yes, they're 5-1. But I don't know how good they can be. You know what I mean? If they was to line up against the Ravens or Bucks tomorrow, would they win? The Chargers, right. They don't look the best, but you know what I mean? Are the Jets better? Or, it's a tough stretch right here where I feel like you have some of the better teams. The teams at the end, it's tough. But I will give benefit of doubt to some of the teams who've been here, who've done it, who've proved themselves a little bit more.